And you are tuning in to Ipac Chat, where we are coming to you live yet again at 10 a.m. Of course, we'll be returning tomorrow as well. We got a lot of great information for you guys. And as always, we appreciate you tuning in. We are going to be taking live phone calls here in the show. If you are brave enough to place that phone call and talk to us live, we'll see how that works out. Every day, we're going to try to add a little bit more and make this a bit more of a fun event to talk with each other, right?
Have fun. That's what we're here doing this for, so we can build a conversation with people.
That's right. So we got some great stuff coming up. We appreciate you tuning in. Share the video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And we're just going to kind of see where we're going. I think there is no lag on the video.
Yay.
I think we may have fixed that problem. You know, as we broadcast to you guys from our worldwide headquarters. I love saying that, you know. Look at our worldwide headquarters. You know, we're going to keep moving forward because we and you are good people doing good things. We appreciate you folks. So how are you today?
I am wonderful. How about yourself?
You know, another day above ground, another day blessed, another day living in America, this great nation. I cannot be doing better.
Yes.
I have my family, have friends, got food in my belly. And it's good stuff.
There you go. What more can you ask for?
What more can a man ask for, right? All right. So, as you may know, the U.S. Air Force B-52H strategic bomber was intercepted by Russian Su-35 fighter jet on Monday over the Baltic Sea. What is an American fighter jet doing over the Baltic Sea? Who knows? Surveillance?
True.
Ready to drop the big one?
Checking it out.
God only knows. God only knows. Good to see you, Warsaw Patriot. Big guy, good to see you here as well. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And, well, you know, we know that the Chinese president and Putin had that nice little meeting behind closed doors. And it seems like they're all buddy-buddy.
You know, I'd love to have been like a fly on the wall just to hear, see. What was it? What's going on?
You think the CIA maybe had their little drone bees in there?
Oh, you know, maybe then a fighter jet would have dumped some fuel on it if it were the case. But that would have been an interesting conversation to sit in on. You know, it'd have been nice to know what's going on in their minds. You know, also today starts the 3-year project on the Kennedy Expressway.
Oh,
isn't it always under construction? Always?
3 years of pure, unadulterated hell on the Kennedy Expressway.
Didn't we just get through that?
Oh, it's going to be over budget.
I mean, it's 3 years. So 3 years is what they're saying, and we all know what that means.
You know, the problem is I cruise the Kennedy all the time.
Who hasn't?
And the Dan Ryan all the time. I'm going to have to hit 294, got to pay those tolls, and that isn't much better.
Correct. It is, but, well, do your planning accordingly. Now you know.
I think it started yesterday, right?
I ended up seeing it 3 hours ago saying that the 3-year project begins. So that's why.
Avoid the Kennedy at all costs as we are seeing shootings on the Kennedy, Dan Ryan, Stevenson, and Eisenhower and I-57.
And pick a president.
And it ain't even summer yet, you know? So, wait. I wasn't supposed to say that word, shootings. There's several words that I'm not supposed to say
you have totally
here, and I've already violated it. Well, you know, then we wonder why.
What happened? You were talking. That's
words,
what happened.
bad words. And France.
Yes.
Well, a lot of big protests going on in France. You know, we're not hearing about a lot of it, but, you know, they're basically wanting the elderly to work just a few years longer in order to get their benefits. The elderly in France are complaining that they have already put in their time. And, I mean, Paris, actually all across France is just big fires going on.
Correct.
A lot of rocks being thrown.
And
a lot of popo and riot gear.
And just happened to be maybe blowing people over.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And yes, you're right about the fires that are happening, and they're angry.
It's been going on for quite some time. You know, it's funny is every time in the United States when we have a tumultuous period, whether you agree with it or not, and the people get angry and they start doing their thing. You always hear the chastisement of America. Oh, look at how yucky that America is, or oh, look at how unruly Americans are. But I mean, this stuff's been going on forever. When the people get ticked, they go out there and they use the right word, protest, and well, essentially wreak havoc on the society, neighborhood, city, whatever the case may be. So, I mean, in many ways, this is quite normal.
Yes.
But you just don't hear that, again, that chastisement when other countries do it. But God forbid it happens in America. It certainly is a big deal.
Yes, also in the banging of the drums kind of a thing. Is there that going on in Paris as well, maybe?
They're banging on the drums, all right. They're banging on the back door.
Yeah, they are.
Let's see. We got some comments. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. Roman, appreciate you, man. All the support. And likewise, you guys are awesome for your support and tuning in. Thank God for Mr. Big Guy. Thank God I got away from that rat race. Yeah, Chirac. Isn't Chirac just a wonderful utopia of lovely policies? Isn't not? Warsaw Patriot. Is there any update on the state court as far as the assault weapons ban? I pray corruption caucons don't ruin the case. I support anybody who is in this effort. We all make mistakes, right? But ultimately, we are, as far as I know, assuming in good faith that the folks are trying to fight this in good faith. We are all on the same team.
Correct.
And I have bad news. It's not the end all. But the bad news is that yesterday, the Illinois Attorney General, Kwame Raoul, expresses his guidance for the Illinois State Police in the enforcement of the Illinois assault weapons ban. And according to the Illinois Attorney General, his statements, and I quote, but I could be off by a word or so, he said, "It is the law."
Correct.
And ISP fully intends on enforcing that law. It's except for those plaintiffs in the temporary restraining order. So that's where it stands as of right now, Mr. Patriot. And we shall see where it winds up in the court. I think there's oral arguments in the Supreme Court, Illinois Supreme Court, coming up in May. I don't know what exact date. Of course, we know that the governor donated millions of dollars. Illinois governor donated millions of dollars to 2 Supreme Court justices in the state of Illinois. And should those justices be recused?
Okay.
Should they remove themselves? Are they biased?
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
My opinion. They were, some would say they were paid off.
Okay.
Some would say that.
Is there anything different? Isn't that how the world goes?
That's certainly how Illinois goes.
Oh, very
good point.
That's how we grew up, in a sense. Speaking of, so we got Chicago.
Yeah, that's the Chicago way, right?
It is.
Go ahead.
Park Ridge. We're back in Park Ridge again. There was another armed robbery at the Marianos. That's at Cumberland and Higgins.
That's the second armed robbery
in like 2 weeks, maybe 3.
I was going to say 2, maybe 1, but fine. That's 2 armed robberies in Park Ridge, the affluent neighborhood of Park Ridge, where the average medium income is significantly higher than there else, where our wonderful former Secretary of State and former First Lady of the United States was born, right, and raised, I believe born and raised in Park Ridge. Of course, we're talking about the lovely Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
But yet that place is turning into
it's always
a hole.
That intersection. Something about that intersection.
I get it. A lot of commerce going on over there. Easy access to the highway. That is no justification for violent lunatics running about robbing people inside of a supermarket parking lot.
That is kind of crazy. Though, when I was growing up, my mom would always say, don't buy property by the expressway. Or buy train tracks.
Wait, don't buy expressway, buy by train tracks?
Don't buy the expressway and do not buy by the train tracks.
Fair enough.
just for some reason, she never told me. She just always told me that, and it always just stuck. And I'm like, there's got to be a reason.
Well, back in the day on like Lake Street in the West Loop in Chicago, now it's all turning into Guppyville. But people would say in the, make fun of another person. You live by the train tracks, right?
Yeah.
Well, now it's all turning into Guppyville. That used to be the old meat packing industry there in the West Loop off of Lake Street. Now it's a lot of art galleries and, armed robberies at that. Good to see you, Jack. I appreciate you. He's saying Cumberland and Higgins close to the highway. Not a coincidence. I concur with that statement. But I have to say, it just pisses me off that anywhere in an affluent area on the northwest side of Chicago, back in the day, we really didn't experience these level of crimes. Certainly things would happen, right? We would have crime. It's always been around. But nonetheless, it just seems to be a significant uptick, especially over the last couple of years. I don't know. I find it mortifying. I mean, my concealed carry classes are just minutes away from there. I'm not sure why a lot of those Park Ridge folks don't get their asses in my classes to ultimately protect themselves against an armed robbery. Because most of the times they end up where the bad guy takes your stuff.
Yeah.
But there's other times where the bad guy pegs you. He pegs you, right?
Yeah.
That's another word I got to be careful with using.
There we go. Yes. Also here speaking about this, in Arizona, they are trying to do a House bill to teach students as young as 6th grade to 12th grade about, can I say it?
Yeah, you can say safety, gun safety. Yeah.
There we go. Firearm safety. So it is kind of up in the air, and it seems like it's pretty split, just like everything else, of is that good or is it bad? But it also it's optional. So I don't understand necessarily an uproar or a concern that that's something optional. You don't have to partake in something like that. So if somebody chooses that hey, this sounds like a great idea, then let them do that, right?
So this is a bill proposed.
Correct.
In the state of Arizona.
In the state of Arizona.
To teach 6th grade and up.
Correct.
Firearm safety.
About firearm safety.
I think it's completely appropriate.
Yes.
Although I can see that others who may not be adverse in the industry, they would find that appalling. Some of them. Are you serious? You're going to teach a child about guns?
But I get it. But if it were like mandatory, then I can understand more of a concern. But it's just totally optional at this point. So again, obviously all the kinks and all the things are working themselves out, but if it was an option, would you partake in something like that?
Yeah.
As a parent?
Teach them. My opinion is teach them. I had done an interview on WLS Chicago 890 AM about that specific topic.
Yeah.
And it was a great interview. I think it was about 10, 15 minutes in the morning news show. And, I believe in doing exactly that, teaching children, because it breaks the taboo. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts, those that are tuning in. Do you believe that it is appropriate to teach children about safety when it comes to firearms? And some will say, teach the child, simply do not touch. Go run and tell an adult. That's what the NRA promotes.
Yeah.
Go run and tell an adult. I agree with that. But I think as loving, caring parents and adults teach children about firearms and the safety thereof, it breaks the taboo.
Yes.
Breaks that taboo. And the child then understands what they're all about. And they kind of lose interest in many ways.
Correct. Yes. Myself, I was always kind of that anti-family. We didn't even talk about it kind of a thing. And so therefore, if I would have been in a situation where I would have saw one, I would have been like, I would have been scared and frightened. Sure. And then I started learning and did this upon myself and took training and figured stuff out that, oh, wow, God, I was so much more dangerous, then.
Well, the potential's there. And, to learn, knowledge is power, right?
Correct.
Whether it be about any subject or topic,
yes,
having the acknowledgement and knowledge of it is always a great thing.
Absolutely.
Warsaw Patriot is saying at a young age, yes, it takes away the curiosity.
Yes.
I concur. Couldn't agree with you more. Let's see. So we'll say it again. I don't get it. Maybe if you have the chance, look up some of those Second Amendment stocks, how they're doing.
Sure.
Because yet again, it was reported that, and bear with me, that the ammunition is being depleted throughout Europe, specifically in Ukraine, as they are using more ammunition in the war. Oh, that was another word. I wasn't supposed to say. In the conflict, we'll say, between Ukraine and Russia, and that U.S. and NATO just simply cannot produce enough munitions. They don't have the primers, the casings, the gunpowder, and stuff like that. And it's what happens when they run out? What good is that firearm if it has no pew-pew to go through it?
Yeah, maybe it already has run out, and that's why. Because what's humorous is out of all of those stocks, it is ammo that is doing not as well. As in the stock market, it's up, yay, the Dow, the NASDAQ, they're all up, and they're in the green right now at this moment. But, the Ruger is up. We got it at $55.92. We got Smith & Wesson at $11.35. The Allen is at $52.98.
Now, Allen is the parent company of Winchester, which obviously produces ammo, and they were, I'm sorry, I was waiting on that one.
They were up at $52.98.
Okay.
And then Pow, the ammo company, it is down, and it's at $1.70.
So, I'm not no stock market fella. I like to follow some of it. But that just doesn't make sense to me. If there's a shortage of ammo throughout Europe, you would think that those prices would be soaring, but we shall see. Yep. And coming in back to Chicago, Chicagoans voted Lori Lightfoot out February 28th.
Yeah.
In the 21 days since, 25 people have been perished on her watch, bringing the total number to 2,700 plus. Yeah. Since she had taken office. That number is staggering.
Powerful.
I mean, there is a lot of just red juice all over those hands, and Kim Foxx and our beloved governor who helped us out so much with our medical needs throughout the last few years. Mm-hmm. And, they are just really all about that safety first ideology. How's that working out, Chicago?
Doing good.
Her last day cannot come soon enough. I'm really curious to see who will be the next mayor of Chicago.
Yeah.
Going to be Johnston or Vallis? Johnston or Vallis? What do you guys think?
What do you think?
Is that going to, in any way, shape, or form, help the Second Amendment? And Secretary of State Blinken cites that Xi Jinping's travel to Russia, despite the ICC's arrest warrant, is unacceptable. So again, the president of China goes and has a nice dinner with the president of Russia, but there is currently an arrest warrant out there for the president of Russia.
Okay.
I'm surprised China, Xi Jinping didn't just pull out his plastic handcuffs made in China and place them on Putin's hands. Said, you are under arrest.
Yes. Well, not if...
He would have been deemed a hero.
There is, and it's, even today.
So here the Chinese, Trump, they put out really good quality handcuffs.
Good quality, yes. Donald Trump today, isn't that, all of that's going on?
Well,
Right, today's Tuesday.
They were, there was a lot of chatter, a lot of rattle. I think that I hear it's been postponed. Maybe next week. Maybe people got a little up in arms too quickly.
Man.
I don't understand this chessboard.
For somebody to go through that, let alone a former president to be going through that.
I don't know what this chessboard is doing. And Idaho okays veto-proof bill to allow execution by firing squad. This has been coming up a lot in multiple states where when it comes to a capital punishment, right, and an execution of a tried and convicted person, that, there is the lethal injection. There was not used much anymore, but the chair that was electrified. But it seems that firing squads are being brought and enacted once again.
Cool. it wrong, I say okay.
Yeah, well, Idaho said okay too.
Well, good, Idaho. Can we bring back like the horses and the rope? They go separate ways kind of a thing. Love the whole medieval times and whatnot. But if somebody did something horrendous and you're guilty,
Found guilty
I believe
by their peers,
are,
by the justice system.
you are fully justified as the peer to say, yeah,
Okay.
you're no longer.
Okay. And of course, we have a 6-time convicted felon who posted videos of himself firing guns on a shooting range he built in his basement. Has been sentenced to prison for 6.5 years.
For 6.5 years. Okay, that was the part I wasn't sure about.
6.5
that
years.
was he is a
All right,
felon.
so this dude, he isn't the brightest fella. I don't know why it tickled me so much. I watched the video. It was several minutes long.
Okay.
First, he starts out, he's got a mask on and everything. He's in his basement, clearly a basement in his home, and he draws his pistola, and he just starts shooting in the basement.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, wow, it's loud. It's a lot of smoke,
Sure.
a lot of lead, right, emitting into the air and landing and never leaving the property. And then he proceeds to pull out, I believe it was like a revolver, a 44. Man, I asked myself, didn't the neighbors hear a lot of pop, pop, pops going around? And then he pulls out his rifle, man, right there in the rifle.
Man.
Then he starts doing mag dumps with 30 round.
Really?
I'm thinking, dude, you're drawing a lot of attention to yourself. It's illegal to have a range in your house in a municipality. But here's where dude really screwed up. Not just posting those videos online, right? But he had ordered a suppressor, a real good quality one from China, had it delivered to him via the United States Postal Service. And when the Inspector General of the USPS showed up, handed the package right now, that individual took delivery of an otherwise prohibited item.
Correct.
And then the popo went in. And so they were initially there to get him on purchasing an illegal suppressor. And as the popo are doing their investigation, walking around their house, they're like, man, there's a lot of empty casings on the floor. They went downstairs and just saw a full-blown homemade range.
Wow. At least he was. Wow.
Oh, that is absolutely hysterical.
God, it is.
I was laughing I don't know why it tickled me, but I was laughing uncontrollably watching this video. It was just so silly.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Of course, statute of limitations is long gone, but I knew of a couple fellas who, back in the day, they were doing a little pew-pewing in their basements. Used to be quite popular back in the 90s.
That it was.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's illegal.
That is. It was like finding the police found like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow kind of a thing. And they were like, what? What? Wow.
They got him real good. I didn't think they expected any of that. Again, they were there for the suppressor, but 6.5 years, 6.5 years. And the United States sends another $350 million dollars in weapons to Ukraine. I mean, you're prohibited. You shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. If you do, you got to pay a $250 tax stamp to obtain those lovely items. But let's just keep giving them away. Yeah, and putting it on our kids' credit cards. Putting that on our kids' credit. It's $350 million. Who cares?
Didn't we just last week say something as well?
Well, it's every week.
And then the week before. Okay.
Well, before that.
Yeah.
Hey, got to promote it. Got to promote it.
Nuclear power plant leaked contaminated water in Minnesota. Now, this is a little outdated. It was about a couple months ago, but they're saying now that, everything's safe. It didn't contaminate the drinking water or anything. But you guys, we are only hearing about that now. We didn't hear about it 4 months ago. We're hearing about it now, saying, oh, it's okay. Everything's safe. We're cool. Almost only 60% of an Olympic-sized pool was contaminated. But it wasn't your drinking water.
You said it's outdated, and that's true, but not. It was outdated because it happened.
Sure.
It continued to leak. But what's new is we just figured out about it. We were just informed about it.
Okay.
I think that is quite concerning.
Yeah.
The public should be made aware of nuclear power poison is being emitted into our waterways. Whether it's good news or not, the
Yeah.
people should be made aware. I find that appalling. You're right. 400,000 gallons of contaminated water
Yep.
started in November. And of course, the general public was notified approximately 2 weeks ago. And that was coming from NPR News, National Public Radio.
Okay.
We know that they're just a lovely organization.
Yes.
So what else you got?
A smile.
You do have a smile. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in. We are giving away 1 ounce silver bullion. You got to go back a few videos from a few days ago if you want to be eligible to win it. It is 1 ounce of 999 fine silver. I would encourage you if you'd like to win it. It is God's money. It is real money.
Yes.
And ultimately, you could keep it as a memento or take it to your coin shop, sell it for the cashola.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, hey, that's on you, but we are giving it away. You have to follow the directions in that previous video if you want to be eligible. We'll be picking that winner sometime. I'm not going to promise anymore when. Last time I made a big mistake and I said, I'll be doing it next week. I forgot.
Well, you
Then
know,
I got
just
busy.
Silver's at $22.30 right now.
Hey, cool. Yeah, it's kind of upticking. You know, there's a lot of folks. They look at it and they say, "Oh, you know, silver's down or silver's up." You know, the way it works is it's never just a flat line, right?
Sure.
There's a time to buy. You buy when it's low, and there's a time to sell. You sell when it's high, and those fluctuate daily, weekly,
Yes.
monthly. So really depends on the person. Time and effort you want to put into it, but
Yeah.
so get your money, wait for it to drop back down, and buy it again. But that's just kind of my approach to it. Anyways, we will be giving that 1 ounce coin away. We've already given out 2 other ones. Both winners have already received it, and I hope that they are enjoying it and perhaps become silver stackers. Right?
Sure.
They say that only 1%, just 1% of Americans
Yes.
actually stack silver. And if that dollar ever collapses, well, that 1% are going to become quite rich because everyone else is going to be running out to buy it.
Correct. Yes. You know, it's also good to diversify your plan of having, like, yes, the silver, the bullions and everything, but get that jewelry too, because if something were to happen, right? Am I going in the right path here?
Well, yeah, I mean, in economic
Or two.
collapse, people may not like that coin.
Somebody's going to want some jewelry.
Silver,
they're going to
yeah,
look. They're going to look
silver,
at that
gold.
bullion and be like, "What am I going to do with that?" But a piece of jewelry,
You're right.
that necklace or whatever it may be, they're going to say, "Ooh, but I want that."
Usually worth less, but in
And
the
yes.
eyes of your average person, more valuable. A gold chain or a gold coin, or
yes.
a ring, for example.
Yeah.
Folks, the music is playing, I think.
Okay.
We love you. We think we're going to be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Again, hopefully we'll get a phone call or two.
Yes.
Prepare to give us a call tomorrow if you'd like, live at our phone number 888-316-IPAC. And we're going to take it from there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Bye.